lot of my buddies would take my drawings, and they had guys that couldn't execute them properly doing them. And I thought, wow, I could do a better job than that. And so eventually that kind of led me to it. Some of the good tattooers that I knew offered to teach me, and that led to an opportunity.
I just think it's funny that I have no problem getting a tattoo, but the thought of a shop freaks me out.
After an 11-year journeymanship following an apprenticeship with Walt Daly, who was one of the premier tattooers at the time, not just in Spokane, but worldwide. After 11 years, it was time to open my own place.
Love it.
I named my shop after the whole All-American, which was the 82nd Airborne's moniker. We were the All-Americans. We were the first fully integrated unit in the armed forces of all races, religions, and creeds. I am an All-American, so we are all All-Americans. I was in the Gulf War, and about a decade after I got back, I started having severe respiratory issues and went to see ear, nose, and throat fella. And he wanted to trach me immediately because I had built up a lot of scar tissue in my throat, that I have a condition called sarcoidosis, which is likely Desert Storm related. And it migrated from my lungs into my trachea and scarred it shut. I think what had to happen was I had to live with it long enough to go, okay, I'm going to be okay here. My stroke happened because I had a bad chiropractic adjustment on my neck. Before you know it, I'm in the hospital, suffering a massive stroke. About a week and a half later, I tattooed the wife, I tattooed my dad, and haven't looked back since. I had dabbled in watercolor, but when I lost the use of my hands, I really leaned into the curve of watercolor, meaning I figured that if I could get large motion back, large range motion, that maybe fine motor control would follow. And I'm obsessed with painting at this point. This is a passion I never would have developed had there not been a need to work with my hands in this particular fashion. In a really weird way, the stroke enhanced my life. I've had a large group of friends that I've had for almost 40 years at some points. And we get together and we play games. We play role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of thing. We play tabletop games, Warhammer 40K, Necromunda. But the biggest game we play is called HeroClix. We have all kinds of beautiful fellowship here. I really hope that people understand my experiences are a great example of what faith in God, your loved ones, and yourself can really benefit you out of life. If you refuse to quit on those three things, you can't help but succeed. But you've got to keep yourself open to succeed, and you've got to work your ass off. You can't half-step your way through life.